When Little Miss Naughty went on holiday. Little Miss Naughty is the naughtiest person in the world. Or so she thought, until she went on holiday this year. Normally people go on holiday for a rest, but not Miss Naughty. Every year she goes to Seatown for a week's holiday, and every year the people of Seatown brace themselves for a week's worth of Little Miss Naughty's tricks. And that's a lot of naughty tricks, I can tell you. And far too many for the people of Seatown, who had decided that it was high time they did something about Miss Naughty's visit this year. If you listen carefully, you will find out what that something was. Little Miss Naughty packed her bag, locked her front door, took the bus to the station and caught a train to Seatown. Before she went through the ticket barrier at Seatown, she put her bag down and smiled to herself. She knew just what she was going to do. She was going to hand the ticket collector a mousetrap instead of a ticket. She chuckled to herself at the thought of the mousetrap snapping shut on the ticket collector's fingers. "Oh, what fun!" she said to herself. All she had to do was to set the mousetrap. She reached into her bag. Snap! Ouch! She yelled and pulled her hand out of the bag with the mousetrap on the end of her fingers. "How could that have happened?" she said. Then she heard a muffled laugh. She looked round, but there was nobody there, just a pile of suitcases and mail bags. Rubbing her sore fingers, Miss Naughty walked down the seafront to the Best Views Hotel, where she stayed each year. After lunch, she strolled down to the beach, and right there in front of her was a sand castle. She chuckled to herself and ran up to the sand castle and kicked it. "Ouch!" she yelled for a second time. There was a brick hidden in the middle of the sand castle, and she had kicked the brick. Then she heard a muffled laugh. She looked round, but there was nobody there, just a stack of deck chairs. Little Miss Naughty's holiday was not quite going to plan, but she cheered herself up with the thought of what she had planned for her next naughty trick. Something she had thought up on the train, a very naughty something. That evening she went down to the beach again and dug a deep hole in the sand. "Somebody is bound to fall into it tonight," she said to herself, and chuckled mischievously. Early next morning she went to see if anyone had fallen in, but there was nobody in the hole. In fact, there was no hole, just a towel lying on the sand. "How odd," said Little Miss Naughty, and sat down on the towel and fell in the deep hole it had been covering. Bump! "Ouch!" cried Miss Naughty for a third time that holiday. Then she heard that mysterious muffled laugh again. But when she peered over the edge of the hole, there was nobody there. And so it went on all week. None of her naughty tricks worked. She put itching powder in the bed in the room next door to hers, and when she went to bed, she discovered someone had switched the beds around. The next day she itched too much to even think of being naughty. She had the worst holiday she had ever had, and the people of Seatown had the best week they had had in years. At the end of the week, Little Miss Naughty caught the train home. She sat down in the carriage. "Ouch!" she cried. Someone had put a drawing pin on her seat. It was then she heard that mysterious muffled laughter. She looked round. There was someone sitting in the corner of the carriage, and the laughter was coming from behind the paper they were reading. The someone had yellow fingers and yellow feet and a pink hat. Miss Naughty pulled the paper down. It was Mr. Mischief. The people of Seatown had invited Mr. Mischief for a free holiday if he would take care of Miss Naughty. "I should have guessed," said Miss Naughty, and then she had an idea. "Why don't we go on holiday together next year?" "Good idea," said Mr. Mischief. "Where shall we go?" "Seatown," said Miss Naughty, and laughed naughtily. "Seatown," repeated Mr. Mischief, and laughed mischievously. And there is not much more to say, other than wherever you go on holiday next year, don't go to Seatown.
Naughty, naughty, little Miss Naughty, doing things that are not very nice, like jumping on a hat and breaking glasses. Very soon she'll have to pay the price. Naughty, naughty, little Miss Naughty, doing things that are not very nice, like jumping on a hat and breaking glasses. Very soon she'll have to pay the price. Naughty, naughty, little Miss Naughty, doing things that are not very nice, like jumping on a hat and breaking glasses. Very soon she'll have to pay the price. Naughty, naughty, little Miss Naughty, doing things that are not very nice, like jumping on a hat and breaking glasses. Very soon she'll have to pay the price.